Guys, so I got a lot of messages to people asking me about things regarding to ONDC, and they want to know how to do the setup and what exactly the terms, different terms, terminologies that are used in ONDC. So I thought that I should create a YouTube playlist of that terminologies and how different things are associated within the ONDC network. So let's get started. So today I'm gonna give you a brief idea about the architecture of ONDC, and specifically I'm trying to do this video in English, but if you want we can do in Hindi as well, so that's not an issue. But let's try to target the like major audience that would be in English, I guess. So let's get started. So see, what exactly is ONDC? Basically, ONDC is Open Network for Digital E-commerce. So ONDC is making network decentralized for digital e-commerce. Like in these days, in at current period, we have various ONDC applications, but still the market is ruled by the big market players like Amazon, Flipkart, and Swiggy, Zomato. There are many platforms who are centralized, and they are doing shady things, or they are just they have different prices every day, and they are giving special offers, and they are manipulating prices of the things like very frequently. So government want that these things should happen, but these should these things should be maintained under some decentralized ledger in which government can anytime intervene, and government can get the details of the transactions that are happening over the network, so that government can anytime, so that people feel little bit, people get scared that they shouldn't do this much manipulations, or manipulations is like a people can do a lot of manipulations as they have their own platform. But when they have when there is a decentralization come into the picture, then people will little bit afraid of doing this all these manipulations, so that when someone is seeing you, and someone at the government level is having a bird eye on you, so you will not manipulate the things like you do in your centralized fashion. So that is the main concept of ONDC. And now let's try to learn about the different terminologies that are into ONDC. So, see, so ONDC contains of 4 to 5 things, and like you can say there are multiple things that are coming these days, and ONDC is growing rapidly. So let me explain you the different terminologies that comes into action here. So first, ONDC, ONDC is built on backend protocol, backend protocol. So backend protocol says that everything should be a backend protocols terminologies are things is like you have to think everything as a in a relation of buyer and seller. So everyone who is on network is playing a role like a buyer and a seller. Okay, so these are the two terminologies that are associated with backend protocol. And backend says, or backend forget about backend, because ONDC is also changing the flow from backend. ONDC is doing manipulations with respect to itself, so let's just focus on ONDC right now. So see, ONDC has different terminologies. Like number one, ONDC has a buyer application that will helps user to buy different products from the network. Then ONDC has a seller application that will help seller to sell different applications, to host their inventory on seller application, to register seller's individual store or individual inventory on the seller application, and seller can send this inventory to the buyer applications, and buyer can showcase that to the user, and user can then buy it. Okay, number three is logistics. Logistics like e-cart, DTDC, there are many logistics services that can be built and that can be registered on the ONDC network, so that for fulfilling the purpose of delivery, because delivery is the main part, right? We have to deliver the product to the user after the order is confirmed. So logistic plays a very important role in ONDC because there are return cases as well, and there are issue and grievance cases. In some cases, people, after raising the issue, people return the product. So who will pick the product? That is handled by logistic applications, and logistic applications with logistic buyers. Basically logistics buyers are, you know the people who will gonna collect that, who will gonna register the different drivers on the network, who will gonna pick up and deliver the product. Okay, so these are the three main terminologies, and after this we have a lot of another features that ONDC is giving. Let me just tell you that thing. So number four that comes into action is it's IGM. IGM says issue and grievance management. So issue and grievance management. Grievance. Forget about the spellings. I might be make some mistakes, but you understand the concern. Okay. So ONDC says that, let me check the spelling of grievance first because it's also confusing for me. Grievance. Okay, got it. So, issue and grievance management comes into action when, first of all, let me tell you one thing that I haven't prepared anything for this special meeting. I'm just doing everything. I just got an idea that I should do this, and I started. And I didn't, maintain my notes. And I'm just trying to explain you the things because I don't have time to create the notes. So I'm just creating the things on the like right now in the video. Okay, so see, issue and grievance management in ONDC says that uh, whenever you want to raise an issue, you can be an entity on ONDC network, just like these three entities. Issue and grievance management is also another entity, that can come into an action that will resolve the issues between buyer and seller applications, seller and logistic applications, buyer and logistic applications, and various like grievances that are happening on the network. IGM entity can be, used to resolve that issue. And there is fifth more entity that is called as RSP. That means reconciliation process. So RSP is, reconciliation and settlement process. That means, yeah, like people can, whenever transaction is happening on the network, so you need to, it should be whenever a transaction is, whenever a buyer is buying some thing from the network. So they have made a payment by using any third party payment gateway like Razorpay, PayU, different platforms are there. So after the payment, who will manage that? Who will, gonna scatter the payment to different parties? Like we have to give some payment to the buyer application who is, bringing the users to the platform, and we have to give some commission to the seller application, and we have to give to the whole payment or the minimum payment that is to be charged by the seller of the application, the main seller user of the application, or the main owner of the application. And we have to also, scatter a little amount of money or delivery charges to the logistic applications. And in case of IGM, whatever will be the charges, or whatever will be the charges, right now there are no charges as per my knowledge, but in the future maybe these entities could also start, charging for their services. So RSP will take care of that. RSP full form is reconciliation and settlement process. And the fifth and the major entity is the gateway. The gateway in ONDC. So the gateway is the major service that, helps buyer application to raise a search request. That will The gateway will scatter this request to pan India, and after getting the results from pan India, gateway gonna send these details in response to search to the different entities, whoever is putting the search request on the network for the pan India. So gateway will collect all the responses from the network and it will gonna give it to the respective entity. For example, if this is a buyer application or whatever is the buyer entity, like a seller who is wanna check about the different sellers, a seller application who wanna uh, forget about it, a buyer application who wanna place an order to pan India. So like Paytm is a buyer application and a seller application both, but consider Paytm as a buyer application here. So Paytm will gonna send Paytm will gonna send a request to the gateway, and that request is called as the number first request in the ONDC pre-order workflow, and that is called as search. Okay, search. And gateway, what gateway will gonna do? Gateway, and the gateway organization that has built a gateway, that is a Protein Tech. The gateway by default that you are using in ONDC is built by Protein Tech. Okay, so also I have worked on Protein Tech project as well. We built a buyer application for them, and yeah. So after this, the gateway, send the request to pan India. Like this is the ONDC network. If these are the number of applications who are registered for ONDC, okay, ONDC network having different buyer applications in their ledger. So after this Protein Tech, after, whenever this search request comes here, first Protein Tech validates its schema, do all the validations that are required, that makes the request valid or authenticated. So Protein Tech will do all its predefined checks, and then after that, Protein Tech, send the request to the different nodes, seller nodes who are available in the ONDC network. Okay, so the seller nodes again, they do the validations of the request, that whatever they want, and okay, and after that, the seller applications will gonna response to the Protein Tech gateway in terms of own search. Okay, they will sell their whole inventory. Each and every node must have a sellers, different number of sellers, like hundred of thousand of sellers that have their inventory registered on the ONDC network. So they will gonna send it in the response of on search request, and again our gateway will gonna validate that request, and if all the checks have been passed, then they will gonna return that to our buyer application, and you can see the results on the buyer application. For example, you are searching for Maggie, so Maggie product will be listed to you from pan India, or whatever checks your buyer application has applied. If the your buyer application is have applied a check with respect to pin code in their code, so they will show you only the that seller applications that are available in your pin code, or that can deliver you the product. Okay, so in this way search and on search works. So that's about this video. Let me know if you got some understanding of the ONDC terminologies, and if you want me to explain a little bit more. Also, I'm attaching my contact number in the comment box of this video, so you can directly reach out to me, and we can explore different things together. And yeah, also if you want to build anything on ONDC, then we are a team and we can help you out. You can contact me anytime. So that's it. And ONDC is open source, so you guys can also directly come and contribute to it, because just of like another open source projects, so you can fix the codes, whatever bugs you find in the network, you can give some suggestions and the features that you want. So all right, that's it about this video. In the next video we can discuss about the whole order flow and how different things are associated with respect to each another. So bye bye, thanks.